You are now listening to Terminal 234. This is Season 3, Episode 7. On this episode, we discuss the coronavirus and its widespread effects on the United States as well as the world at large. We also talk about some of the things that's going to keep us busy while we deal with coronavirus by staying at home mostly and whatever else comes with it. A lot of music, a lot of entertainment, a lot of movies, a lot of shows. Enjoy.
Welcome back to Terminal 234. It's Fey on the mic with...
What's up? This is Dolapo. We are your hosts of Terminal 234.
That we are.
Yes, welcome back. Thank you for listening. We're glad you could make it to this episode. And yeah, there's a lot going on in the world, no?
A lot in one particular instance.
yes, it's a lot. If you guys are not living under a rock, I'm sure you've heard about coronavirus. If you listen to the podcast, we've definitely told you about coronavirus. At least 2-3 weeks ago, we were talking about it.
I mean, as soon as it was on anybody's radar, I feel like we were talking about it.
Yeah.
And we've just ratcheted up the amount of coverage we've put on it as the issue has continued to grow.
Yeah, and it has continued to grow. Yeah. Definitely. It's everywhere. I don't know where you're listening from, but it's probably somewhere there by now.
It's probably exactly.
Yeah, like a lot of countries
right there with you.
Yeah, been dealing with it. As you guys probably know, we're in Maryland. Yeah. In case you don't know. So Maryland is definitely getting shut down slowly.
I mean, we've been in a state of emergency for a couple weeks now, right? I feel like it wasn't this past week, but the week before.
I think it was this past week.
Really? I definitely know it was before we went under the national state of emergency.
Yeah. So I actually know. So I think they declared, I don't know exactly when it was, but they declared a state of emergency as soon as the 3 cases actually happened. So you're probably right.
Maybe not up to exactly 2 weeks, but not this past, business before. Week, but the week before.
I agree. Yeah, so we've been in that state. Schools are now officially going to be, they are shut down now. Yeah. It's to start on Monday, but
but I mean, it's the weekend before, so effectively, like you said, we're pretty much done with school. Yeah,
kids are staying home for the next, I believe, until like April 3rd or some date.
Well, I know with college it's like April 4th because on top of their spring breaks, at least in Maryland, on top of their spring breaks, they're getting an additional 2 weeks. So I know with colleges that had their spring break starting this weekend, it's going to be all the way till April 4th. So they have to go back to school, and we'll see about that. And then with public schools, it's only 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from Monday is when they are supposed to go back, but again, supposed to. So we'll just have to keep monitoring the situation and see if anybody goes back to school.
It's been crazy. It's affected, I mean, pretty much every aspect of life, I think.
Work, school, daily living,
entertainment. I actually went out last night and was with some friends and some peoples and around.
That might be ill-advised according to some.
Oh yeah, I guess I shouldn't be saying that out loud, huh? But I didn't go out. It was it was a little shindig in someone's house.
It was a gathering of less than 250.
Definitely,
you didn't break any rules.
Less than 100.
So you didn't break any rules.
Yeah, but a lot of people were talking about Afro Nation because they were planning on going to Puerto Rico.
That's a big one.
Yes, and they were really sad.
If you're about that life, that Afro beats life, Afro Nation has been on everybody's radar, and I know a lot of people that were going. Did you?
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people were supposed to go, so Afro Nation officially canceled this week. I don't know what day because I wasn't going to go, so I wasn't paying attention like that. But towards the end of the week, probably Thursday or something, because I know earlier in the week they were slower to react than like South by Southwest and all those people. Yeah. They definitely they were just like, oh, we'll check your they were like, oh, if you're sick, don't come, like that kind of thing.
I have a question for you. I know South by Southwest, you ain't getting your money back. Like it's a done deal. Yeah. With Afro Nation, are they getting their money back?
So as far as I know, people are not sure yet. I think they're waiting to hear back or something. Okay. But there's a lot of rumors. People are saying like they're probably not getting their money back because the organizers have probably spent the money, and a lot of clauses like shows like that they have if stuff goes crazy, we're not giving you money back. And this clearly falls under that. Yeah. So I can imagine people not getting their money back because I don't know how big Afro Nation is, but I mean, I don't know how big. I mean, I don't know how deep their pockets are that they would say refund for everyone. Because also I think impossible. Because I think I also heard like artists, not necessarily Afro Nation, but like in other situations, like they get to keep what they're gonna pay already. Yeah. So then, if you already paid money for a bunch of stuff and people get to keep the money, you would be giving money back almost at a loss.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're going to try to do. I know airlines are giving people credits. They're not going to give your money back.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And apparently they were able to cancel, like people were able to cancel Airbnbs and stuff. So it's not, it seems like the largest money that's going to be lost might be the Afro Nation, like tickets.
The actual concert.
And they weren't too expensive for what it's worth, at least depending on which one you got.
Yeah.
So that'll be fine. Yeah, there's no NBA. I mean, there's no sports.
That's major. Period. Can we talk about that?
Yeah,
let's talk about it. With Rudy being the main guy that started this whole thing, because I know the NBA already wasn't planning on having their games go on as planned, at least not with like the audience and spectators that they usually have.
Yes.
So they were ready to like scale back how the whole NBA season was going to take place anyway. But then Rudy went and caught the shit and then passed it on to Donovan Mitchell. As far as we know, I think it's Rudy that gave it to Donovan. And then, with that in mind, they had to just shut the whole season down. Now, I've seen that people are a little bit upset with Rudy, especially internally. I know that big sports reporter, Adrian something, I can't say his last name.
Woj. Just say Woj. Woj bombs.
Woj. I know he came out and said, like, bro, guys, the Jazz administration isn't really too happy with Rudy, especially internally. Like the players, some of them have some smoke for Rudy, and the main reason being that Rudy wasn't taking it seriously enough for their liking. He was making jokes, he was touching mics. Like this is before he knew he had it though. So I'm like, I have a soft spot for that.
No, I don't. We cannot have a soft spot. So it's understandable, right? Because we all. You never take something as seriously until it touches someone close to you or you.
Yeah.
But the reason that they are feeling a kind of way about it is that he was unnecessarily reckless.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's one thing. It's one thing. Like yes, like I said, like I went out and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm not like if I have it and I went out like
you didn't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
So like I'm in the same boat as him, right? Like you didn't know kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it would be different if I go out and I'm like touching everyone and like, I'm gonna touch you, like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna touch everything you touch, and
exactly. I'm gonna cover my hand and touch you. Like that's. I don't know that different. He was doing that specifically, but like you mentioned him touching the mics. For people that haven't seen it, it was after the NBA said they were not gonna have reporters in locker rooms, right? So for distance, create some distance, and then they also said when reporters talk to players, they want to have like 7. They give them like a number, like you have to be this far apart. To protect everyone, right? So they're trying to keep going, but like just create space that usually wasn't there. Social
distancing, as
exactly.
They say, yes.
And Rudy was basically just making fun of the whole thing, like ha ha ha. Like,
the reason I said I have a soft
ha ha ha, and then made
a
point to say I'm gonna touch every single mic. Like he didn't have to, like he could literally have said what he said, but him don't like.
Actually going out of his way to
extra.
Yeah. But the reason I said I have a soft spot though is because like you're saying, like he just had no idea, and I know a lot of people out here who are making major light of the situation, like to this day. They're like, whatever, I'm gonna do my shit, I'm gonna be who I am. And the thing about Rudy is who he is naturally is this jokester who definitely does the most, but that's just him on a regular, you know what I mean? Like he would be doing this whether this was like Corona or something else. He would find a way to make an excessive joke. So I don't know. I feel like it's not like he went out of character. I guess is what I'm saying.
I don't forgive you if your character is wrong in this instance.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with you being a jokester, but if you're gonna be a jokester, one, you have to know when not to joke. Like that's part of the like. Or if you're gonna not know when not to joke, then I'm gonna feel away if you joke at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Like
no, I get it. Especially if you're like Donovan, for instance. Like I get why you would be very upset, but then on a larger scale, we all know that this is causing people not to be able to clock into work and like causing people to just have financial burdens that they wouldn't have otherwise because, whole industry is on lockdown in no sense. Like the whole sports industry is on lockdown, and particularly the NBA is on lockdown because of your actions. So I get why. This is where I will say let's be a little more fair to Rudy Gobert, is that unfortunately he's going to be the poster boy of like you're the reason, but I don't honestly think he's the reason. I think it was like this is what I think. It's a matter of time before someone in the NBA got it. Okay,
so
yes, I agree.
Like just because he was the first one to get, as far as we know, also like we don't know who else has. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that all teams have tested all their players, and like it's all about testing. So let's just say let's just go with the assumption he's the first one to get it. Yeah. But someone was gonna get it eventually.
Which is my issue with
the issue was gonna come up. So like a lot of people like I seen people have the argument of like, should we give the NBA credit for like being the first to like, basically being the first large sports organization to be we're not gonna we're just gonna suspend the season. But then literally, if you think about even the scenario of when they canceled games, that night they were gonna play. We talked about this earlier.
Because I think
they were gonna play games until they had an actual case.
Yeah,
and there were still games that went. So it was like,
I'm not giving them credit for shutting it down early. It's just that they had one of the earliest cases within their sports league, so they had to shut it down. It wasn't really by choice. And I agree with you. It's like it was going to happen one way or the other. Like if it's not Rudy, it's somebody else. But unfortunately, he has become the poster child because he was the one that got it first. And on top of that, the way at which, like the optics of how it passed down, it just, you're going to be the poster child and people are going to have smoke for you. So that is what it is. You kind of, unfortunately, are the reason why the league shut down.
So that, again, I would say, let's not say it that way. I understand.
I'm saying it, like, unfortunately, it's not the best headline to have Rudy Gobert shut something down, but based on the whole scenario,
I understand, but he like, that's why I want to, like, he's not the reason. Like, it was going to happen. Like, but he was the spark that made it happen faster than it was going to happen. But he's not the reason that it happened. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I guess we're arguing semantics here.
Because think about it this way.
Semantics.
Like, all these other sports agents like MLB are like, they're not going to start this. Or NHL. As far as I know, I could be wrong because I don't watch hockey. I don't believe they've had anyone test positive yet. Mm-hmm. But like, they shut down. So like, that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying. It's like the NBA was going to come to that decision regardless of if Rudy Gobert got it. And actually, regardless of any NBA players got it, I believe. Because a lot of sports are already doing it. So that's why I just like, let's not make it like,
I agree
he's the reason that it happened. Like, I think that's all I'm saying. Let's just not make it like Rudy Gobert shut down the NBA season. I don't like that statement.
Okay. Again, I think we're arguing semantics. Because whether it happened this week or next week, I agree. It's like, it was going to happen regardless. Yeah. But it happening this week as opposed to next week is because of Rudy. And so, like, unfortunately, A equals B because of the whole scenario at hand. Because of everything that led up to it being shut down, Rudy Gobert is unfortunately the reason, but fine. You don't like how it sounds, I just don't understand. And I'm good. I'm like, because I was caping for him to begin with. Okay, I'm not gonna say it that way, but they say it that way. Listen, I was caping for him to begin with. I already didn't like that everybody was just going in on this guy because I low-key feel bad for him.
So how can they not go in if he's the reason? But also another aspect.
Let's just move on. Yeah.
Another aspect. A lot of players are donating money.
Yes, which I love
to help. Their teams.
Our Nigerian brother Giannis.
Yeah, a lot of the workers. I want to say, as far as I know, you never know who the first is, but publicly, Kevin Love was actually one of the first.
He is one of the first NBA player.
Yes,
I think Mark Cuban might have done it first.
I'm sure
as the first owner, and then Kevin was the first player.
So he pledged 100, and I believe teams are essentially like matching their players, or like I'm sure they'll probably do more, but. It's a good vibe. I know Obama like shouted them all out on Twitter. I don't know if you saw. It's like, good job, NBA players. Like,
and just to put some context on it, it's basically the idea that a lot of people are out of work because of this whole scenario. So there's like a fund going on to help combat the losses of earnings and whatnot. So a lot of NBA players, a lot of owners. And then I guess the teams, like you said, are matching to a certain extent. Are contributing to this fund, so that's a really good look. I like it a lot.
And unfortunately, the NBA, you can look at it as just a microcosm of like the world, society, and just there are a lot of people in other walks of life that are going to be super affected. Unfortunately, or I don't say, fortunately for us, I don't think we're as affected as of right now. But that's the funny thing because everything is as of right now. Like, if people are like, if the economy is crashing, like. Businesses are not going to be paying you money, even if you're not coming to, like, you know what I mean? Like, everything is affected. So right now, we're still at the early phases, hopefully, so it doesn't get crazy, but the effect is...
And unfortunately, whenever major occasions like this take place, regular civilians have to step up, and the more fortunate civilians are the ones that do have to step up for where the government might be faltering and where there's cracks in the system. So it's always good to see like humanitarian efforts like this taking place, to help soften the blow of anything like this. So we'll definitely see it in broad strokes as it continues to get worse, because unfortunately I do think it's going to get worse.
It is going to, I mean, I think the only thing we know for sure is that it's going to get worse. It's a matter of how much worse and how quickly. And for people that maybe don't understand, and we'll hopefully talk a lot more about this later, but the whole point, if you're confused as to why we shutting stuff down, like, it doesn't kill that many people, like the lethality or whatever, the percentage is not that crazy. It's just a matter of resources.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of like, let's not make, like, everyone can't be sick at the same time.
Right.
Like, that's the easiest way to think about it.
Because we definitely need to talk about this at length, and hopefully in a future episode that would take place. But like, the main issue is our hospital infrastructure and system isn't built to take on such a major onslaught.
Yes.
Which is why a country like Italy is suffering. So we have to kind of soften the blow as much as possible, and that starts with minimizing the amount of people that are going to catch it.
Definitely.
Which, you know, if you can shut things down, we're going to shut it down. And in the vein of what we were speaking about earlier, the people that are going to get the worst of it are the less fortunate people. Like, people who don't have the resources to handle it. Like, you know, people who have to rely on the healthcare system and not maybe have, you know, health insurance, or people who...
I mean, not even that. Just like, literally your day-to-day life.
Yeah,
like,
people who work hourly wages.
You have to think about, like, there are people, like, you get sick or you don't get sick.
Yeah.
For now, we're still in the phase of, like, not that many people are sick in terms of the population of the U.S. or the world even. Not that, like, percentage-wise. Don't fight me. Yeah. Not that many people are sick.
Technically.
So being sick is one part. But, like, even the people that are not sick are obviously affected because everything we just said.
Yeah, it's like I was mentioning, like, people who do have hourly wages and rely on going maybe to their fast food job, or, you know, even, like, I don't know, nanny and whatever. They aren't able to get their earnings like they would otherwise, and then that will obviously have a trickle down effect, because if you're not making money, how are you going to sustain your life? And then even like getting testing, like we see the entire Utah Jazz team getting testing, or we see, you know, higher profile people like Celine Dion getting testing, but then healthcare workers who are at the, like, you know, at the forefront of this issue are calling into the CDC having difficulties getting testing. So we can see how, if you're more fortunate, you're getting a little bit more of a safety net when it comes to this virus. And then the people who are less fortunate, we'll see how this all plays out. But I'm watching out for that.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. And we'll give you updates as stuff changes. I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes, a lot of news.
On a positive note, if there can be, gas is real cheap right now.
Yeah, I heard. I haven't gone gas yet, but I think I saw someone post that they got gas for $1 something.
Yeah, it's like $1.99, especially like wholesale places like BJ, Sam's Club. It's like less than $2 to fill your tank. So that's crazy.
I mean, it's a positive, but honestly, it's all negative.
It's also a negative because crude oil is definitely cheaper, which, for you guys that don't know, like, Nigeria's major export is oil. So when gas prices go down, that means crude oil prices have gone down, which means Nigeria's economy is currently suffering heavily.
My aunt was telling me, like, yesterday or 2 days ago, she was like, she needs to check. She was like, she thinks the dollar has gone up compared to the Naira, of course.
Yeah, the Naira
so I don't know. I haven't checked, but I'm sure, like, it's just everyone is affected, and just most important thing out of this is try to be safe. You know all the things they've told you to do. Like, we don't have to tell you. You've heard it a million times.
Because I know people who are, again, like, it's not gonna happen to me. I don't really care. So I'm not really gonna change the way I live. Yeah. You might want to. Maybe don't go to that party.
Yeah, just adjust a little bit. Be careful.
That was for you, Dolapo.
I'm not gonna get sick. But no, honestly, be careful.
See what it is.
Take the precautions that you've been told to. And I mean, honestly, I think this. You have to live your life.
You're such a guy, though.
You have to live your life, but there's a level of living your life that you have to, you know, dial it back. Like, I'm not going out every day. And I
know you want to wrap it up, which we can in a second, please. But, like, I'm going to say it. You're such a guy, because we were talking about this off mic, guys. His group chats look very different than mine. He's talking about there's no soccer games. Mine is talking about, what are we going to do? Like, this is a public health crisis. Like, how are we going to fix this? Blah, blah, blah. And his is all about soccer. Yeah. So you can just tell how the guys are handling this versus
I will say this, since we brought up my chat. I have a friend in there who has David, actually. He, like, a month ago, was like, guys, this is really bad. Guys, pay attention. I mean, he wasn't annoying, but he, like, you know, like, he was actually concerned. Like, he was actually like a person that was like, yo, like, I'm actually concerned. Like, this is worse than SARS, or like spreading faster and all that stuff. Like, people are saying now.
Thank you, David. Shout out to you.
So,
he gets I was big aware. I told you so.
Yeah, but I mean,
wait, how's your other podcast gonna do? By the way, you guys, we've never talked about this, but Dolapo has another podcast. Please follow it.
Yes. It's called The Uncut 90. Yes. It's for soccer fans.
Yes.
You know, if you like sports in general, but really specifically for soccer. I'm not even going to lie to you. Yes. Like, it's soccer. Yes. Anything soccer, man. And it's just fun. It's just
So what are you going to do? Now that there are no games and whatnot.
Oh, there's always something to talk about. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
We'll see.
Content kings over here.
Anyway, now I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, so before we wrap it up, we have to do our music.
Oh, of course.
Like, what's the music? Like, especially now that people have lots of time.
Yep. Yep. You have way too much time.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you want to start or do you want me to do?
You can start. Let me look for my song.
Okay, I'm going to, do something that Dolapo doesn't like, and I'm going to do 2, okay? I don't give a fuck. I'm going to do 2 shout-outs, one being Lil Uzi's album. Surprisingly, I like a good amount of songs off of it. Actually, I'm going to say there's 2 separate albums. There's one album that came out about a week ago, Eternal A Take, I think. And then another one where it's LUV versus The World #2. That's a double album in combination with Eternal. With that said, I'm not like the hugest Uzi fan, but I've always paid attention to him. I loved his song that came out eons ago, and I've liked quite a bit of his music since. I think that has a lot to do with my younger siblings.
Okay.
By being adjacent to them, I'm going to hear that kind of music a lot more than maybe someone who doesn't have younger people around them all the time. But again, I really liked a good amount of his songs. One that comes to mind is like Celebration Station. Another one that comes to mind is I Can Show You. But there are so many good ones. Okay. And then my second. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to do second.
Yeah, we're not doing 2 anymore after this. This is the last
I'm going to do what I want. It's my podcast too.
Well, that's like, if we do 2, then why not 3? That's like...
2 is less than 3 though. Anyway, the second is JoJo from Leave, Get Out, Right Now. That JoJo. Oh, white girl JoJo. I love JoJo. Okay. She has a new song that came out called Man. Okay. And it's a bop. I really like it. And I just wanted to shout her out because I feel like she's not getting enough love out in these streets.
Yeah, shout out to JoJo.
But yeah, she's so talented. Like raw talent. Yeah. Out the wazoo with her voice. But yeah, I like that song a lot. Now you can go.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give you one. It's one song. Boring. Not an album this time. Hopefully you guys have heard of Rema. Rema has a song. It's called Beamer. It's featuring Roshan, who I don't think sings on it. I want to say he's a producer, but yeah, the song's called Beamer. It's a really good song. Okay. Listen to that. Check it out. And check out Rema in general. He's a young artist, doing big things. Yeah. So, all right.
I like it. Okay. So, on the heels of our quick hits segment, we have a main topic for you that's kind of in the vein of Corona, but not really. It's just that, the way of life has changed a little bit since Corona has taken us by storm. Yeah. So yeah, we have like a little bit to talk about when it comes to how we're changing our, daily activities and blah, blah, blah. Yes. You want to kick us off?
Yeah, no, I think so. Of course, Corona's everywhere. We can't escape it. We really tried hard to escape it today, but we're like, how? All right. How can we escape Corona when it's everywhere? We can't escape it.
We're inundated by it.
Yeah. So like we talked about, a lot of shutting down going on, especially where we are. We're shutting everything down. Basically, people are starting to work from home. Some people Monday, some people Tuesday, some people in a week. Like everyone's going at their own pace. Yeah. So we're all going to be at home. We're all going to be stuck at home. Right. We need some things. And I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a bunch of stories about there's no toilet paper anywhere.
Absolutely none.
So we thought...
No water bottles.
Yeah. So why don't we figure out... Oh, bless you, Corona.
Thank you. Stop.
Why don't we figure out the things that are super, super important to us that are going to help us through these times at home? And of course, we're trying to make it fun. Hopefully, Faye's not going to say toilet paper. Like, Faye, obviously, yeah, it's like...
I have plenty of toilet paper at my house, so
we're just we didn't really have a more solid plan than that. But what we're gonna do, we'll just go back and forth. No, yeah. So you say something, I'll say something.
Well, let's start with what's on your grocery list, because like we just mentioned, so many things are out of stock. Yeah. So what have you stocked up on, if anything?
So to be fair, I've not stocked up on anything. So
you might want to change that, bro.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to go buy some stuff. I mean, honestly, like my biggest fear is just if the grocery stores kind of run out of stuff a little bit. So yeah. I'm trying not to be in that mindset though, because I hate thinking like that. It's kind of panic driven, but I do want to get some stuff. The most important things I want to get, honestly, I want to get water, and I want to get something that I can eat. So like rice and some stew ingredients.
This is an African household. You don't already have rice?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, so stuff like that is like, yes, we have rice, but let's say in a week or two when everyone is home eating rice. No, I mean,
you don't have like a box of rice, like one of those big ones that should last you like a month, even if you're eating rice.
I think my point, so my point is that like we're good now, okay, but now I'm starting to think you're worried because the grocery stores are not closing. They're not like they're still there, but like in 3 weeks, I don't know what life is gonna be. So
you're right.
Like people that are panicking, that's why they're finishing the toilet paper. They're not buying toilet paper for today. They're buying toilet paper for like 2 months. Yeah. And it's like, you don't need that much yet. Like, can you relax?
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. I'm like, even if you yourself aren't panicked, a lot of people around you are. So you kind of have to get ahead of it. Like, maybe you wouldn't have been the person to stockpile toilet paper, but because everybody else is, you might want to just grab a pack.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable with whatever you have at home right now.
Yeah.
Luckily for my family, we already like do our regular grocery shopping through wholesale stores, so like the amount of toilet paper we have is pretty good.
I'm not even worried about toilet paper,
but yeah, I'm not really worried about toilet paper.
You can use water, guys, like tamba. You guys know what tamba is. You can tamba with water.
Tamba. No, exactly, that's like the least of my worries. I'm worried about food, but then like when you go to stores like the BJ's of the world and unless there's stores like maybe Wise or whatever your local grocery store is, like literally there's no bread, for instance. Like no, like if you've ever been to a BJ's, like literally there's a whole aisle for bread and nothing. It's like empty. And bread is like a go-to, which makes sense, but like damn, y'all, like can you leave some bread for the rest of us out here? But then it's even as far as like with something like water, there's signs that's like 2 per person, like you can't take more than 2, or like 2
but I do like that though,
Purells per person or 2, which I like too, like because again it's like although you're panicked, like you don't need 5 cases of water. Like chill out, like other people need water too. So like I mean, on my grocery list is something like bread. So, like, luckily, we, being Africans, have other places we get bread from, like international stores and whatnot. So, although the local grocery store might not have bread, it's cool. We got our, African bread, whatever.
So, the African people stop opening their shop, but
until they do. But that's what I'm saying. Now that they have it, you better get out there. You might say the chances are low, but like, I feel like what you had mentioned earlier, we don't know what's going to happen in 2 weeks where, of course, like in Italy, how they like had to then shut all storefronts down. Yeah. So
it would be, I think for African stores, it would be a government thing.
Like, it wouldn't be like they're volunteering. Exactly. Nah.
Need that money.
I agree.
Where's the money going to come from?
No, I agree. I mean, come on, like as of right now, that Chick-fil-A line is still going strong. Yeah. So I don't think African stores have any chances of closing.
Okay, so you said soon. Bread. What else do you need? Like I literally tried to warn Faye not to say bread, and she said bread.
Oh, what did you say that was cool?
You didn't let me say because you told me to go to the grocery store. I didn't want to go to the grocery store.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about groceries at all? Okay, let's not talk about groceries. Let's move on. I'm just saying that's like, let's start with the basics at least. Okay. Like, what at the grocery store would you need? If anything,
at the grocery store,
so boring. If you will.
There's nothing that's not so boring in the grocery store because I don't need anything from the grocery store. One thing I need is stuff to survive. I need water. And I need some kind of food.
Okay, then let's move on.
Outside of that, though, like what am I going to be doing throughout the day? Like number one, I have my FIFA. Like I need FIFA. I need entertainment, right? So I'm not gonna go crazy
since you can't watch football. People you'll play it.
No, there's like nothing on ESPN. There's nothing anywhere. So I have my FIFA. That's what I'm gonna be doing like every day. So I want to get good at FIFA again. I used to be good. I'm not that good anymore. So I'm planning to sharpen my skills a little bit. Get back to where I used to be.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of music. Entertainment, movies, shows. How about you? Anything that you're gonna be watching specifically, or that you're like are looking forward to? Like,
definitely gonna be doing a lot of Netflixing, no chilling. So like, I mean,
so you're not gonna chill? Like, you're just gonna be going crazy, or what?
I'm talking about chilling with the other undertone to it. Okay.
They said no chill zone. I'm gonna be doing the most.
I'm gonna be doing a lot of
Netflix and the most. Okay.
All right. So yeah, I know I'll probably finally watch Love Is Blind like the rest of the world.
Okay.
Definitely needs to happen. I'll probably get acclimated with some of my favorite shows that I might have not watched in a while. Like right now, I'm rewatching a show that's amazing to me. Called Charmed. Do you know Charmed?
That was like on TNT.
It was on UPN or whatever. WB. It was on WB.
I think they showed it on TNT now, maybe. But yeah.
I think so. Like the old ones, reruns on TNT.
Yeah, I know Charmed.
One of my favorite shows of like the early 2000s.
Aren't they like redoing it with like new people?
They did. They are.
Oh, they did already. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's currently happening, and it started 2 years ago.
How do people rewatch shows? That's the one thing I'm not going to be doing.
Which I agree with you. I don't rewatch often, but there's like a few. There's a handful for me. There's like Gilmore Girls, Charmed,
all the stuff you watch when you're like 12.
For nostalgic purposes.
Yeah.
Anything I've watched in the last 10 years, I'm not rewatching. But if it's something, but then again, I literally, my brother makes fun of me all the time. I probably go every 3 years without watching Gilmore Girls, and then when I pick it up, I watch the whole thing again.
It's just or like a
majority of the seasons again. I don't know what it is about Gilmore Girls and Charmed, but those two shows I've watched multiple
I think I just
times.
told you what it is.
The nostalgia? The reason I'm saying that is because it's just those two. Like, I'm not picking up, like, there's a show called What I Like About You.
Well, obviously, those are the ones you like the most of that period. Yeah. But, like, to me, I don't know.
You don't have any. You have zero that you... Like, but people watch, like, Martin and, like...
show... I mean, but I don't really... So, the reason I don't count those is because it's not as story-driven. Like, Martin is not, like... Like, Gilmore Girls, maybe I'm blind, but I think of it more as, like, a story.
You're right. There's, like, an arc from season 1 to season
it's like
7 or whatever.
Like, watching in order matters, like, stuff like that. Whereas, like, Martin, like... Even when they showed on TV, they never showed in order. Like, they do random-ass episodes in a row. Because it doesn't matter. It's just funny for that episode. The only show I would say that I've actually really watched twice. Yeah. Or maybe 3 times, actually. I watched The Wire.
Okay, so that's a thing, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's, like, different.
So you name one, I named 2.
Different. But, like, people watch shows, like, people watch movies over.
But I didn't say I don't actually watch. I see movies are one that I rarely do.
Like, people go to a movie, see something, like, 3 times. I'm like, why?
And I don't get people who do that, like, 3 times, like, within, a 2-month span. Like, I know somebody who has watched Frozen, whatever, 3 times. I'm like, okay, I mean,
it's so weird.
It is weird to me, but weird. I might, revisit some of my favorite classics. I'll probably pick up a new show. I know I'm trying to watch Mad Men, which is an old show, but, like,
you never watched Mad Men?
No.
Mad Men is a really good show.
Yeah.
You need to watch Mad Men.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful show.
Which I started it, and then I paused to, watch Charmed, like I mentioned. But I'm going to definitely revisit it. And then some newer shows, like I said, Love is Blind, High Fidelity is one I really want to watch. It's on Hulu. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
It has Zoe Kravitz in it.
Okay. I like
so
her.
that's kind of why.
How was your other show?
Big Little Lies. Yeah, I like that one.
I love that show. I always feel like, I don't know, I'm like, is this show for me? Like, I'm a guy.
I would say I don't know many guys that watch it.
They want guys to watch this, but it's a good show though.
It is a good show. What did you think of season 2? Now that we have nothing else to talk about, why don't you tell me?
So spoiler alert, just in case you want to watch this. Yeah. This is something else about me. I'm a person that should rewatch shows just for the fact that, like, I forget everything. So literally, I remember, season 2 is when the mother came, right? What's her name? Meryl Streep, right? Yeah. I don't remember how it ended, so I feel like the end is probably so critical to whatever conversation we're about to have.
I know it was like the trial, basically, and like that's like the major arc of that season, the trial of whether or not Nicole Kidman's character should keep her children, or not.
And she ends up keeping them.
And I think at the end she ended up keeping them, but I feel like there was a little bit of.
I'm sure there must be a twist. I can't remember, but I'm sure there must be a twist because if not, like,
fully remember. But overall, I don't need to know like specifics.
I thought it was really good. I really liked it.
I liked season 1 way more than season 2. Like I finished season 2, but I wasn't as infatuated.
I probably would agree with that, but I really like season 2. Like, I just think season 1. I just think that sometimes like a show just naturally
declines.
Like, not even just declines, but just like it ebbs and flows. But like a lot of times it is just like a general decline because like the first time you're introduced to it, it's new, it's exciting, like you're learning the story. Like season 2 now, like the story's essentially established. So now like it does become more just like drama based, and like season 1 you're trying to figure out like what's going on, like like what is this whole thing, like because they didn't tell us straight up in the beginning what was like the event, right? Like you had to wait a while and like they built it up, so it makes sense that it's not as good.
It just wasn't for me. I don't know. I wasn't. I like it.
So when season 3 is there season 3 coming out?
I'm sure there.
So if there's season 3, you wouldn't watch it?
I would. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like abysmal. It wasn't like I abandoned it. I just wasn't as into it. But are there any shows that are on your radar for this Corona quarantine?
Well, I still want to talk. Like, you just made me think about some other shows. So the show I'm watching right now.
That's what I meant. The other shows.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I'm thinking because I'm about to finish it. So it's like it's not gonna be my Corona show.
Oh, okay.
But I'm watching The Outsider.
Okay, I need to start it. I wanted to finish before I started.
It's a really good show. It's a really,
Has
really,
it finished?
Really good show.
Season finale and everything?
Yes, it is.
Okay, now I can start it. Okay, that's on the radar. You just gave me one.
Yeah, actually, I finished it already. I finished it yesterday or 2 days ago.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like the end spoilers, so much. Please. Yeah, I won't spoil it. But I didn't really like the end so much. It was I don't want to spoil
underwhelming?
It. So no, it wasn't I mean, it was underwhelming because it was so much excitement and build up and all that stuff. The end was I just didn't like the way that it ended.
Was it unexpected still though? Or was it like
no, I wouldn't it was unexpected, but like it was unexpected in a way that like shows usually don't like doing that. But it was unexpected in that it was like the most realistic thing to happen. Like it was just like if you watch season 9, I mean not season, episode 9, right? Because it's 10 episodes. At the end of episode 9, there's something that should happen realistically, and the beginning of episode 10, it happens. But it's just kind of like so deflating because it's like damn, like sometimes you watch shows to see them like go around the most realistic thing. Right? Yeah, so it's like damn, like if it's just a straight line, like okay, yes, I understand the integrity of the story, like you don't want to make something that's fake, but the whole thing is
you wanted them to blow your mind, like I didn't see that coming.
A little bit, and it wasn't like that, but it was good. It was I would say honest to the show in the way that they built it up, and the way that everything went. But it just also like at the end, it just makes you realize that like like this is really more closer to the sci-fi realm than because even though you're watching the whole show and like of course at a certain point you kind of realize that. I hope that's not a spoiler. I don't think
I knew
you kind of realize
I mean it's a Stephen King adaptation,
right? Like by episode 2 you're like okay, like this is Stephen actually episode 1 really, but actually I think episode 2 is when you're like okay, I see how, because at first it's like this is just mysterious, but in episode 2 you're like this is okay. So I like that show. Peaky Blinders on Netflix. Have you watched that?
I've never watched it, but I hear it's a funny. Is it? No. I'm thinking of Schitt's Creek. But Peaky Blinders I've heard of.
I don't know the main guy in there. I don't know where else I know him from, but he's really good in that show. I think the reason that
is this still going on or is it like done?
No, I believe it's done. I could be wrong because I haven't finished it. But I believe it's done. I believe it's done. So I'm watching that. The last episode I watched too just like made me sad because I was like, no, like why? I think I watched like the first 3 seasons or something. It's a really good show though. It's a really good show. It's like set in like early 1900s in England, Birmingham to be specific. And
cool.
Yeah, so those are the 2 shows I'm watching. So I'll probably keep watching Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
What else is called? Narcos.
Narcos Mexico.
I haven't watched it yet. Okay, so I'm gonna watch it.
Okay. What do you think is a good recommendation for somebody? It could be a thing that you already watched.
So it depends on your...
you want to... fine. It depends. Like they can take it or leave it. But based on your taste, what would you want somebody to watch or tell somebody to watch?
I would tell someone to watch The Outsider because that's like the latest show that I've watched that I'm like...
Outside of The Outsider.
Everything I watch are Peaky Blinders. Outside of Peaky Blinders.
Yes. Something you've already watched, but like, you think people would
because I haven't thought about this, it's hard for me to come up with something. But I would say like The Wire, kind of like everything we've mentioned already, I think are like the major things I would think of. Like The Wire, if you're into that kind of show, is really good. Mad Men is incredible. If you somehow haven't watched Breaking Bad, like you should watch that
I've never watched Breaking Bad. I've tried multiple times and I couldn't get into it.
It's just not possible to not get into it. Like, there's a thing. First of all,
I'm in the minority, but I know there are people like me. I've talked to people like me.
You need to watch the first season. I don't care if you don't get into it. Just watch it. After I watch the first season, if you still feel like you have not gone into it, I couldn't
get through like episode 3. How am I going to get through a whole first season?
But that's my point. Like the thing is, I honestly don't. Again, I'm bad with remembering shows and details. So I can't tell you how it started. Like, I actually don't even remember how it started. So I understand, like, a lot of shows start slow. Even Mad Men. Like, I know when I first wanted to watch Mad Men, like, I was like, it's kind of slow. And so I could see how people watch shows like that and, like...
But the thing is, I actually like Mad Men. And I'm the person who doesn't mind, like, dialogue-driven shows. But I don't think Breaking Bad necessarily is, but dialogue-driven shows or slower shows or quieter shows that are not in your face. Like, actually, that tends to be my preference. Like, I like those type of shows. But, so, like, the slow to get into isn't my issue. It's more like if I just can't connect to the plot and the characters, like, pretty quickly, or at least want to connect to them, I just kind of leave it.
Breaking Bad is so good. You can't just...
Which, I know I'm in the minority. That one and Game of Thrones. I know I'm in the minority.
Okay, yeah,
maybe I just need, like, somebody that, like, will watch it with me and that's in love with it. You know what I mean? Like, to give me some extra
Game of Thrones
motivation.
is a show that I haven't watched because it's not really my style of show. I have heard a lot of people tell me that, like, even if you think it's not your style, like you like it. And I have, to be honest, like I actually think that I would like it. So maybe that's something I might try. Because I've watched like episodes like here and there, and I enjoyed the episodes. I think also the other thing for me with Game of Thrones was like just the hysteria and the craze that was with it.
Yeah, sometimes that turns you off. Yeah,
like that. So
well, then you have to
now
understand
that it's died down, like I'm more likely to watch it than when everyone was going crazy.
Then you have to understand how I feel about Breaking Bad. Like the hysteria around it is.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's gone now.
Yeah, I guess, and that's probably why I'm into Mad Men now. We're trying to, I
watched Mad Men late.
Yeah, because
like I watched it
died down,
when there's like maybe a season or two left. That's when I started watching it. So like I was catching up, and I also just liked it better because you just watch it in bulk, like the Netflix effect. Like rather than watching every episode, like you can just watch everything.
I will give my recommendations in a second, but I want to know if you're more of a Mad Men or a Breaking Bad guy.
I would honestly say Mad Men.
Really? I would have totally pegged you as a Breaking Bad guy.
I would say Mad Men I don't know. I think I enjoyed Mad Men just a little bit more. But Breaking Bad was so good. Yeah. Like, I honestly, like, it's even picking them, like, I don't know if that's really true. If I'm really Mad Men over Breaking Bad.
It probably depends on your mood.
Yeah, but I would say Mad Men, like,
AMC did well during that era because both of those shows I think ran around the same time.
Yeah, and also didn't they have the zombie
Walking
show?
Dead?
Yeah, Walking Dead. I never watched that.
Now it's been kind of quiet for them.
Yeah, but they had a nice little run. I want to ask. Well, go ahead. Your recommendation.
Oh yeah, I'll give a few since Dolapo didn't really give us anything. Okay, one.
Like 10 shows.
Yeah, but I feel like I was looking for like more current shows that you might have watched, but you know.
I don't watch current shows. I wait
Okay,
for Netflix.
okay. We'll go with Outsider.
I have another show. I have Killing Eve. That's a good show.
Oh, I love that show.
Killing Eve is like one of the best shows ever.
I remember during our season 2 wrap up, like our personal show season 2 wrap up, I had mentioned Killing Eve as a show you need to get into if you're not already into it. It was me. It's fine though. It was me because I had watched it. You hadn't yet.
No,
maybe you have now.
I think you know what it is. I think that you had watched the newer season.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah,
because newer season maybe is not Hulu or there was some kind of
that's what it was. That was what. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, I'm thinking if you haven't watched Euphoria, you should watch it. That's one that I really love. And I think it's like worth your time if you're home. It's like
I heard bad things. It will
take.
The HBO show,
yeah,
with Zendaya.
With Zendaya, you heard bad things. I actually felt like it was pretty overwhelmingly well received. Maybe I just had bad things in my head. Like I don't know, but I don't think. I know people said it's like a little bit intense because it's like high schoolers. And they're like, wow, is this really what's going on in high school? No, but it wasn't like that. It was like, it could satisfy the palate of an adult. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though it was set in a high school. So I think you should watch that if you haven't. Okay. I think you could also try watching This Is Us if you've never watched it, just because it's just one of those shows that at this point, I think it's on the 4th season.
This Is Us, the crying show?
Yes, I guess if you want to call it that, it's the crying show.
Yeah, guys, This Is Us. You should only watch if you're ready to cry. That's what I mean when I say the crying show.
Yeah, like I know that's what you meant.
I think I watched like the first 2 episodes. I was like, wait, this is all the show's good. Like, nah, I can't watch this. Like, what?
If you're somebody's dying, for another person is show,
everybody's dying in the show. Everyone's sad and depressed.
Like, you've never even watched it. You can stop. Let me continue talking.
I watched like the first episode.
No, anyway, it's like one of those shows you can sink your teeth into. Is what I'm saying. Like, it is an emotionally charged show, but it will swallow up your time. It'll give you something to get into, like I mentioned, and it won't be done too quickly. Like something like Euphoria, you can probably finish in a couple days, whereas This Is Us, you'll need a couple weeks. So I think you should give that one a shot. Nothing else is jumping to the forefront of my brain at the moment. Yeah. So we can leave it there.
I was gonna ask you because you mentioned Netflix and chill, and I just couldn't let it go, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I thought about this. I don't know if you've thought about this, but this is a really critical time to have a buddy to watch stuff with. And, I don't know what else you guys do, but at least to watch Netflix and to hang, like, this is the time that you need, like, cuddle buddy and all. Like, this is usually not the season, but this is the season.
I mean, it kind of is the season. We're at the tail end of the winter, so it's still
that's what I'm saying.
Cuddling season.
This is the end of that season. This is when you're
it's towards the end. The weather's getting nicer. We had a couple nice
days in a row. What?
I agree, but I'm saying like we're not. Well, are we officially in spring?
I want to say we are. I don't know though. I never know.
No, we aren't. I think it's on the 21st.
You're right.
So anyway, that's besides the point. I feel like we've had how many episodes of this season? This is like episode 5 or 6. This is 7.
This is 7.
You're wrong. Really? Okay, anyway, I feel like it's been 7 episodes deep and I talk about being single every single episode of the season. It's like,
why does this keep coming up? I didn't mean to bring it out.
I just think it's funny. But no, I don't have one. Mm-hmm. Yes, it might be great to have somebody, but that's not happening for
guys. Slide in DMs right now.
It's not gonna happen.
But no, it is like, it's key. I thought about that. Like, I was like,
but you're in a long distance relationship too, so you're also buddyless right now.
Oh, exactly. But I thought about it and I was like, damn, like this would have been a great time.
You know, both of you working from home, you could be like, you know, held up in an apartment together somewhere. Like,
in 9 months, it's gonna be like a bunch of corona babies. Like,
that's so true.
Everyone's gonna have a baby. Like, literally, I saw another one with this guy where I think what did he post? I forgot what it was, but it's basically just someone like, I'm gonna be at home with my wife every day. Oh God, I'm not ready for a child. Like,
that's like, so
it's
true.
Gonna be so many. So that's the other thing, guys. I don't think hospitals are ready to deal with corona babies.
Corona baby influx. That's like, so funny.
No, guys, please be careful out there. Yeah. What else do you really need to be at home?
Okay, so if you don't have a person, maybe look into getting one, at least just for this time. You know, maybe make an arrangement.
Yeah.
Maybe with your friends with benefits, be like, okay, for this particular point in time, like, let's just shut that shit down just for a couple weeks. Yeah. If that's not an option, cuddle up with Netflix, cuddle up with like a body pillow of some sort. Get some good food around you. So even if you're not hitting up the grocery stores for the basics, get some, snacks, whatever makes you happy. Of course, what you would reach for, like when you need some comfort. And I think that's a good kit.
I would say definitely. Also, another thing I thought about is alcohol. Like, people are going to be buying. Like, just be careful, guys.
Just don't be drinking by yourself. That's a little bit of a slippery slope.
Never drink by yourself. That's my recommendation at all times. But fun. Also, like, if you're working from home, like, don't get too carried away with your liberties, because when your boss calls you and you start slurring, like, your boss gonna be like,
still gotta deliver on your deliverables. You still gotta make sure your stuff looks right.
So that's something I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be buying. Liquor store is gonna be crazy, I'm sure.
You think?
Like, I mean, not crazy, but like, business should be good. I would think business would be good at this time.
Yeah.
People get bored. Like,
get you a good playlist.
Yes, definitely need new music. If you're an artist, like, it's a good time to release stuff. People are stuck at home.
Get into some of your favorite albums. Some of the albums you haven't gotten a chance to like really, really listen to.
What albums are you gonna listen to that you haven't listened to yet? That are out already. That you're like, oh, maybe I'll.
Maybe Janae's. I'll give a few more chances because.
Did you like the album?
I didn't love that. And I'm a Janae stan. I love her. Loved every piece of work she's released, like, ever. Shalom was okay. Like, it wasn't bad by any means. I'm just used to different vibe. Yeah, like Trip, her last release was one of my favorite albums of that year. So I'm kind of underwhelmed by Shalom. And I don't know what it is. There are definitely a few songs that I was into, especially the ones that she came out with before the album. So like Triggered or None of Your Concern or Pussy Fairy. Like, those songs were really good. So what's unfortunate for me is that I already heard those before the album, like, and those are my favorites. Yeah. So, but I'll probably, keep listening because it's Janae at the end of the day. So I just tend to just gravitate towards her music, and I'll probably force myself to like it. I'm supposed to go see St. John early April. We'll see how that goes. But with that in mind, I'll probably keep listening to his album leading up to that. I love him. Roddy Ricch's album is pretty good, and I feel like I don't listen to it as much. To his album. I don't want to do any hate. That's another one of the artists that I feel like. That's another artist I feel like I like because of my siblings.
Yeah, like I like obviously The Box. You can't not like the song because it's everywhere. You have no choice. Exactly, like that's the song right there.
I love it.
That's what makes the song.
But High Fashion is great.
I haven't listened to that. I have it on
Fashion. You heard it, you just don't know.
I actually don't think I've heard that, but I do have it on a list of songs that I want to listen to. Like, I have a little playlist I make of like songs I'll listen to one day. Okay. But I haven't listened to it yet. I like the song he did with Meek Mill, the tribute to Nipsey. I like that song a lot.
Actually, have you listened to Roddy's album?
No.
That's my point. Okay, I think
what. But that's why I said, like, I don't know if I can listen, because I feel like I'm trying to remember what other song. I feel like I've heard him in another song, and I was like,
you weren't into it.
Is this all he's going to be doing?
Do you like Gunna and Lil Baby?
I like Lil Baby.
Like that. Okay.
Gunna, I like, but I don't know if I could listen to an album from him. Okay. I'm not sure.
Well, I would say Roddy is one of those artists that people like just lump in with the Uzis and the Yachties and the just the Lils of the world.
Osiris. You know YK Osiris? They do the same thing to me. I mean, no one come at me. But all right. YK Osiris, like the little singing.
But what I mean by that is like, yeah, he gets that look. Like he's like just like another A Boogie or blah blah blah. But I actually think he has a little bit more substance, not in the sense that like those people don't have substance, but just like he might appeal to you more than you realize, and you're just kind of lumping in with people that you might not gravitate towards. No. Just Roddy just does it a little bit different. I don't know what it is. So like he ends up appealing to a different audience that you might not realize he would. And there's quite even if you don't like the album as a whole, there's quite a few songs I think you would enjoy and add to a playlist. So I think that's somebody that you should try. Because again, for me, I wouldn't normally just listen to a Roddy album, but there were a good amount of songs.
We'll see. Maybe I'm always skeptical until
I feel you.
I have to hear. If I hear like a couple other songs and I actually really like randomly, then I'll probably check it out.
Got you.
But I'm like, do I want to listen to you?
You know whose album I really want to try because I keep hearing about it. You recommended it actually. It's J Huss's album because I keep forgetting to
really good. It's really
play
good.
It, and I've heard other people recommend it.
Yeah, his album's really good. You like it. Yeah, J Hus is just the truth, man. He's just good. So like literally there's no like, even if you don't like every song, because of course, right, whoever likes every song, like the majority of the songs are good. And he like talking about like someone that has something to say, like he has something to say. So he has like a really interesting story. Like even like if you don't know about his story, if you just listen to the album and then probably go back and listen, like read a little bit about, like not that much, but just like him, where he grows up, all that stuff. Like he's a very interesting character. We're talking about, before we got on the episode, talking about like Muslim rappers. It's like he's Muslim.
Oh, really?
His Muslim.
I didn't know that.
But his like, it's readily apparent in his music as well.
Okay.
Like literally. So this is one of the reasons I decided I really, really like him. Yeah. Is that, so like on the song, he's like he's just rapping. Right. And there's a bar where he's like, I saw a fine girl and I lowered my gaze, right? Like Islamic thing or whatever.
Yeah, and you kind of wouldn't get that unless
exactly, right? But then he has a whole song about a song called Play. I think I told you about it with Burna Boy. But the whole song is like, it's a play on words with like weapons. And like how he's gonna give a girl all these different weapons, but like it's on the same album, and it's like completely true.
The juxtaposition is like, okay, like you're on one end trying your best, and the other end,
exactly. So I like that part of it. It's like, oh, like you're not trying to be like, so when something I say like,
you're not
exactly. Like, so when I say like it's readily apparent in his music, it's not readily apparent to the point that like it makes you uncomfortable. It's just like, okay, like I connect or I don't connect.
Well, speaking of Burna, because you said he has a song with Burna, let's talk more Afrobeats. Because someone like me, I don't feel like I'm as
let's talk more Afrobeats in like 1 second.
Well, as in like the songs you want to listen to.
I know.
Okay, so yeah, speaking of Burna being on
J Huss's album.
Yes. Yeah, I want to hear about some of your Afrobeat suggestion, because like somebody like me, I feel like I only listen to whatever's popping. I'm not so tapped into that genre, so I feel like you should give us some people to watch out for and songs to watch out for.
Yeah, so there's a lot of artists, of course. You know the major people, right? Your question of the Burna Boys, and all of them.
Davido, Wizkid, whatever.
Exactly, right? The big three.
The classics.
Yeah. But there are a lot of artists you should check out. I really like Peruzzi. I'm sure have you heard of Peruzzi?
No.
Peruzzi.
Oh wait, I have. Well, because of you.
Yeah, he has a bunch of really good songs, but he also he's the one that was on Amaka, the Amaka song. Amaka does that one. That's like Peruzzi. He made that happen. So that's the artist I like. Okay. Check for him all the time. Okay. I'm trying to think who else is releasing. Like, the thing about African artists, unfortunately, is like a lot of it is singles based. Yeah. So a lot of times they just release a song here, a song there. But Peruzzi, which is why I think
it ends up being that someone like me just kind of whatever it keeps playing and whatever people keep talking about is what you'll just hear naturally, because you're not checking for a whole project to come up with your own conclusions on your own.
No, definitely. Yeah. So those that's an artist I like. Wande Cole, if you somehow have like been sleeping on him for a while, he's releasing new music right now.
You know what? Can I speak on that for a second?
Yeah.
I was talking to someone recently that was asking me like, name your top 5, whatever, and of course my top 5 is just the classics, and maybe like I throw in like Temi in there or whatever. Okay. And they were like, oh, so Temi over Wande Cole. And I'm like, I'm talking about my perspective, who I listen to. Like, I love Wande, but like, I'm not like, if I'm bored one day, I'll put on Temi's projects. Like, you know, and again, she's somebody who caters to the album lovers. or to the bodies of work lovers. So I've listened to her bodies of work as of recent.
I guess so. She's new.
Yeah, she's newer. So and I'm a girl, and I'm somebody who just whatever I like is what I like. She makes really good music.
Yeah. Why Nicole, I will say, is like one of the. He hasn't really
slept on artists.
He's slept on, but in a way like he isn't. Like I kind of think of him. No hates, please. Yeah. This is me, my little bubble. I like to analyze everyone, but I think of him almost as like the one of like the most talent. Like I think of him as like a really talented like basketball player.
Yeah.
But then like for some reason he's just like. He's just not the best player, but like
the shine.
Like you look at him and you're like, wait, like why? Like
he's not like a franchise player, but he's such a like playmaker, like a Klay Thompson.
Not even Klay Thompson, because Klay Thompson I don't think of in that light. Like I would think of, I don't want to say Andrew Wiggins, because Andrew Wiggins people think of as a bust. I don't think. But just someone that like you look at and you're just like, yo, this guy like he's just really really good. Like let's say let's say like an Andre Iguodala, let's say. I would think of someone like that, where like he had all the physical tools to be. Anything. He could play good defense. He was athletic as hell when he first came out. He couldn't shoot, of course. Wasn't he like
a finals MVP?
No, but he was not.
Am I wrong about that?
No, he was. Yeah. But like he didn't have a like. He's not a Hall of Famer.
But he was never like he
didn't have a bunch of all-star all-star appearances. He was the best player on his team sometimes, but like for the most part, people know him for when he wasn't the best player on his team. They know him for like being you know what I mean?
But like, do you think he has like unrealized potential, or what is it? Like, what do you think that is? Nicole? Where's the disconnect? No, yeah, like someone like Iguodala / Juan Nicole. I think that
Juan Nicole is it's unrealized, but also like a level of seriousness, a level of like Juan Nicole. I think of like a lot of time I listen to Juan Nicole's song and I'd be like, yo, like this guy just went studio and was just playing around. Like it's a really good song, and I'm not mad at the song, and like I don't want the song to be anything different, but it's like. Damn, like you can just tell, like he just does it. Like that's how I used to think of Burna Boy before. Like I think of Burna Boy as someone that like
you're so right.
He just goes in the studio and like you can almost just kind of tell like oh like he just did that on the spot. You're like he so did right. Like so I'm like damn like what if he like maybe he needs a machine behind like you know what I mean? Like I don't know what it is.
Before the Burna we know today, because the reason I keep like I'm exclaiming at that is because I remember when I first heard Burna, right? Yeah. And I loved him. Like he just immediately I was attracted to him. Yeah. And he was able to I know it sounds weird to say this, but he has this like crossover appeal in this weird way. It's not crossover in like the way you would think, like not the generic like, you know, he makes pop music, but just he was able to like connect the dots in a way that I hadn't heard any other artist do it. Yeah. And I loved him, but then I was so frustrated because I'm like, but I don't know I felt more hungry. I'm like, where is the more? I'm waiting for more.
Exactly.
And so then it just wasn't coming quick enough. And then when it did, I was so happy. I remember like right before it went off, I was talking to my cousin and she was like, oh, so who are you feeling right now? Like in terms of Afrobeats. And I was like, I really like Burna. She's like, oh, really? Word? Like I thought you would go for like a Davido or Wizkid. Yeah, like, I don't know, something about Burna. And then he went off and I was so proud and I was so happy. And maybe that's why I ride so hard for him. Yeah. And I feel like in the vein of Wande, people aren't getting that. They're not able to be like, I'm finally so proud. Like you're like, getting all the recognition you should get. In some way,
like he just kind of remains, he's not underground, but he just kind of remains like, for some reason, he just remains somehow a cut below. Yeah. But in reality, like his music is of that quality. Like he could do that. He does. Like
I see what you mean.
Actually, Mike easily could argue that he's the most talented. Like I would if you made me argue that, I could argue it and I think I would do it well. So he's that kind of artist.
I got you.
So yeah, so he's releasing new music right now. That's really it. I'm trying to think, but those are the people that I'm checking for. Rema, of course, I mentioned earlier. He's always releasing new music, and he's really like has a lot of potential as well.
Okay. I feel like you also have a little bit more of a global palette when it comes to African music. So, are there any other artists outside of Nigeria that you might like?
So somebody that I want to listen to more. I haven't listened to him as much as like people out there, but I want to listen to Dave. I don't know if you know.
Yeah,
Dave.
I mean, Location.
Yeah, exactly. He has a Location song. He won an award.
He won a Brit Award.
A really big award.
Yeah, Brit.
For his album, which I believe is called Psychodrama, if I'm not mistaken. I have a friend that told me they listened to it when it first came out. And they said like it was like really sad. Like they weren't expecting it to be that kind of album, which is just very interesting because I don't know much about Dave. I just like know the Location song. I know the one with the one that Drake got on. Like I know those kinds of songs. So I can't even imagine what that would sound like, but I want to listen to it.
It makes sense that that's the tone, because even when he was accepting his Brit Award, he like made a statement about Meghan Markle and like how like I think he's talking about the royal family is racist or something along those lines. Like he made some big statement. Yeah. So I can see how he might be like that activist kind of guy, that deeper guy, that guy who just has something to say and always wants to say it. He
seems very, very well thought out.
Yeah, very cerebral.
So yeah, I want to listen to him. I can't say that I've listened to it yet, but I want to listen to his album.
Agree.
I mean, it's winning awards and stuff, so it must be of that caliber.
Yeah.
And just another artist, since you're making me like think globally, Kano.
Okay.
You know Kano? I know you're gonna tell me no. So you need to go. Sorry. You need to know who Kano is.
Okay, who's Kano? Tell the people.
One of the godfathers of grime is how I would say.
Godfather.
So no, really, he is. So you need to know Kano.
Okay.
Kano's been around since like when I was in college. So like 2006.
What's his nationality?
He's British. He's British.
Okay.
I don't
so
think
he's from.
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
But I mean, everyone is African, right? But as far as I know, he's not like.
I was just curious.
First generation, anything like that. No. As far as I know, he's not.
Okay.
But he's really good. He was in a show, the British show, Top Boy.
Oh.
So he was like one of the people, like he was an original Top Boy, and he was in the one that did just now as well.
Okay.
But yeah, he's really good. He's really good. And his music is also of that caliber of, especially the stuff he's been releasing more recently, where it's like he has a whole like it's a concept album as opposed to just put some songs together. Okay. So I want to listen to him. I haven't listened to his album. Okay. And then last one, and we'll end it if you have anything else you want to add. Okay. Olamide actually had an album recently, which I didn't know. But he had an album that came out. I don't know exactly when it came out. Okay. I just found out. So I want to listen to it because we don't think of Olamide as high as we think we should. And I'm realizing this. But Olamide had like a crazy run. I mean, I think people know, but people don't know. Because literally we recently had an argument in one of my chats about the top 10 like Nigerian artists of recent times. Yeah, of ever, like minus Stella.
But exactly. But like keeping it within like the last 10 years.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Last 10, 20 years. Yeah. And Olamide is like does not get the flowers that I think he should be. Like Olamide.
Can you give me 5 real quick? Just give me 5 if
like,
you can.
Top 5?
Yeah.
It's hard to give a top 5
because I feel like if you had this discussion, you might as well.
So I had the discussion. I came up with the list, and then I went and did some more research. Which is when I realized that Olamide does not get the credit he deserves.
You're sleeping on him. Yeah.
But I would have to put Olamide in my top 5.
Wow.
Olamide, Wizkid,
of course,
Davido,
of course.
Who else made my top 5? I have like an official list.
Was One Day on your top 5 or no?
He was top 10. I don't think he was top 5. P Square was top 5, and the band was close, but I don't know if it was on there. I would say maybe Burna Boy. Honestly,
Burna's on my 5.
I'm trying to remember my specific list. So if you want me my top 5, like personally, like
we can revisit this.
My personal top 5, like yes, Burna Boy, Wizkid,
Davido.
Davido would be like bottom list. I don't know if he's gonna be my top 5 for real.
Ooh, I feel like it's a little bit of a hot take, but maybe not. No,
because I'm like I think
I guess again we're thinking forever, not just within the last 5 to 10
years. And I'm also thinking like music that I would run to. Like I don't run to every Davido song. Like he had a really good run as well. But if a Davido song drops, like I'm gonna listen to it because it's Davido. But I'm not like the excitement is different when it's like a Burna Boy song. Like come on, I'm gonna listen to that. Like a Wande Cole song, I'm gonna listen to. So I mean, he probably makes my top 5, but it's probably like 5.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. We'll give you an official list, guys.
I think we should. That would be fun.
Yeah, we'll give you a list.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, I guess we might as well get into shout-outs.
Yeah, shout-outs. Anything else to say? No, let's do shout-outs, which I just realized we didn't even think about who we
really didn't. Yeah. What do we want to shout out on the fly? Let's shout out Purell because they making that money.
Yeah, shout out to them. Yeah, no, really, shout out to them. Shout out to Soulja Boy. I don't know if you saw Soulja Boy has. He's the owner or like a part owner. He like invested heavily in a soap company. And they're making bank because of Corona. Yeah. So shout out to Soulja Boy. It's random as hell, but he's making money apparently.
He's always making random money.
He has good advisors. Like whoever like him and like Ray J, like those people, like they just have people that take care of them. And also they're probably just willing to take those risks. Of like,
exactly.
Yeah, like it sounds dumb sometimes, like, oh, you put money into a soap company, but like, yeah, soap is essential. Like people are always gonna need soap. Right. Why not?
Right.
Yeah, shout out to him. And shout out to Olamide since I just thought about him. And
he needs to get his flowers more.
Yeah, no, shout out to Olamide, man. Because literally, like, he had, I don't know, I forget the award show, but like literally 3 years in a row, he had the album of the year. Like, that's crazy.
Nuts.
To have the album of the year 3 years in a row, like, nah, Olamide
we forget. I feel like, again, because the African community isn't so into like projects as a whole, that's why we end up falling into recency bias more, because you don't hear about classic albums, so people aren't worried about creating a classic piece of work. So then how can their legacy be so classic? You know what I mean? If you don't have the projects to follow, like a Fela Kuti, you know? So I can understand why some people don't get the flowers they deserve.
But Olamide definitely deserves his flowers. Did a lot, doing a lot. He's still doing it too. That's crazy. So
good for him.
Who are you gonna shout out? I shout out like 10 people.
Can I just co-sign all your shout outs?
Give you mad time to think of someone to shout out. Like,
I co-sign all your shout outs.
Okay, shout outs to JoJo, like I mentioned. Since you shouted out Olamide based on stuff you said before, I'm gonna shout out to JoJo because she went through the gutter with her contracts and whatnot. Like, speaking of like the Megan Thee Stallion and her whole label situation, JoJo went through that times 10, which is why she was quiet and in the dark for several years. So I love that she's kind of blossoming out of that darker time, and I don't know, I've liked a good amount of her music that she's released. Shout out to artists, you know,
doing their thing,
and I have one last shout out before we close it. Just thought about it, but shout out to all the health workers, everyone working in that field, the doctors and nurses. We know that like they obviously have to put themselves at higher risk than the rest of us, because they can't not go to work. Like, they need to go to work, and you know, it's just a tough time for them. And like you talked about, like the lack of testing and stuff, like I'm sure that affects them more than a lot of us. So shout out to them, and for
the airport employees. Let's just shout out everybody that's going through this. Everyone,
but really the health workers. I don't want to diminish anyone, but the health workers, because they're the ones at the forefront. You know, a lot of researchers, people are coming up with different test kits, and like everyone is doing their part. So shout out to them, because we need it.
We do.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for listening. Shout out to you.
Bye.
Bye. Stay safe.